Let's go. There are angels. The angels, there are Seraphim, and then there are Chayot HaKodesh. The Seraphim are angels which are in the world of Bria. The world of Bria is the highest level of creation. Above the world of Bria is what's called the world or the dimension of Atzilut. Atzilut is a dimension of being which is pure godliness, whatever that means. That's what was revealed in Mount Sinai. Pure godliness. And Bria is, like it says, it's creation, it's the beginning of creation. That's where these angels called the Seraphim are. Then there's a dimension of reality lower than that, and that's what's called the world of Yetzirah. There's angels there also. That's where most of the angels are. And then there's a dimension which is below that, which that's called the world of Asiya. Spiritual Asiya. We're in the world of physical Asiya. The lowest of the four worlds is divided into two. The top part is called spiritual Asiya, and the bottom part is called physical Asiya. And what divides between them are the stars. That's where you get people that are the stargazers and the astrologers, and they can tell the future, and they to a certain degree they're accurate, not 100%. And of course, it's forbidden according to Judaism to rely on the future, on the future predictions of the astrologers. Nevertheless, the stars, why do they work at least sometimes? Because the stars do divide between the upper world, which is called the spiritual Asiya, and the physical Asiya. And that, from then you can see what type of blessings, or God forbid the opposite, is coming into the world. So these angels, which are the Seraphim, that they're in the highest world, they're burning up silently to God, because these angels are angels of comprehension. They comprehend godliness. And these Ophanim, now on the third line from the top, She'em Ba'asiya, that they are in the lowest world, like it says, Ophan Echad Ba'oretz. Like it says, one of these angels called the Ophan, he's near the earth. Eino Masigim, they have no comprehension of godliness. Ra'akim Barash Gadol, but they are tremendously excited. These angels called the Ophanim are tremendously excited. There's a tremendous noise. How do we know about these things? The prophecies of Isaiah, the prophecies of Ezekiel, Yeshaya, Yechezkel, the prophecies of Zephaniah. There are talks about these angels. There are tremendous excitement about God. Why? Sheshomim umargishim et shirat asrafim, because they hear and they feel the song of the burning up angels, the angels of Bria. They sense it. They sense that there's something going on. It says, very interesting, in the Gemara, that if I remember, it's in Avodah Zorah, that Daniel and his three friends, Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah, they were walking, it says, on the river, and that God appeared to them, the Shekhinah, whatever, appeared to them, and that only Daniel saw, and they didn't see, and they fell on their faces. Daniel remained standing, and the other three fell on their faces. So the Gemara says, if they didn't see, why did they fall on their face? So it says they didn't see, but their soul saw. It's mazleu chazi. Their souls saw. They sensed. So it says the same thing about these angels in the world of Asiya. They don't really comprehend God. Angels are pure levels of comprehension or of emotions, or actually, well, these angels don't have much comprehension. All they know is that somehow they sense that these angels of Bria are burning up and singing to God. And this makes them tremendously excited. Behitpalut mitzad heder. So why are they so excited? Because of the lack of understanding. Be'imiyot, even though she'ofanim, that these angels called the Ophanim, him lamata b'madrega mi'asrafim, even though these angels, which are called the Ophanim, they are much lower dimension than these burning up angels are. Yesh b'hem ma'ala, they have nevertheless a high quality. And what is this quality? Asher Seraphim omid kodesh 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 Hashem. The Seraphim say kodesh kodesh kodesh. We say this in our prayers every day. Holy, holy, holy. Hashem Tzavaot, it says. Holy, holy, holy. After 3 times of 3 words, they say God's name. Shemazkirim at Hashem, they mention God's name. These higher angels, they mention God's name after 3 words. Holy, 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 Hashem, the God of hosts. So they mention God's name after 3 words. Ophanim, they mention God's name after 2 words. Baruch kavod Hashem mimakomo. Blessed is the glory of Hashem. They say God's name after only 2 words. What's the advantage of this? What does this mean? V'gam asher asrafim, and also the angels, when they say Kodesh, the angels say Kodesh, Kodesh, Kodesh. These angels, which are the Ophanim, they say Baruch Shem. Kodesh means high, removed. Baruch means to be drawn down, revealed. Sheperusha muvdal. The word Kodesh means that God is separate from them, far away. Ophanim, but these angels, which are called the wheels, these lower angels in the world of Asiya, they say Baruch Kavod Hashem Mimakomo. Blessed is the glory of Hashem. They say God's name after 2 words. And they say the word Baruch. The word Baruch means drawing down godliness, and they say Mimakomo, from his source. Somehow or other, these simple angels, they reach a higher level of godliness than the intellectual angels. Kamoshu b'shorshu makoro yum shuklamata, as God greatness is in its source, so these angels, they have an ability to draw it down below. How do angels draw things down? We'll see, but that's how God made the world. How can these lower angels reach to a higher source of godliness? The answer is because the source of the Ophanim, even though that actually they're a lower level, but their source is higher. Kamashal like a wall. Shahagavua biyota, that part of the wall which is the highest, nofel lamata yoter, it falls down lower. Kach gam b'seraphim b'Ophanim. So it is in these high angels, which are called seraphim, and the lower angels, which are called the Ophanim. Shahamuvchar yoter, that the higher of the angel, naseh mimenu olam abriya, that from the higher levels of godliness, the more refined is created the world of Bria. But hitachtone shabato, it's the lowest level, the bottom level of what's called tohu. I'll explain what tohu is in a moment. The zeu avodas a seraphim, that's the seraphim, that they say kodesh, kodesh, kodesh. They feel that God is very high, very far away from them. Shemesigim, they can actually grasp and understand how Ein Sof is holy and separated from them. Sharihu kodesh umuvdal, because God is holy, removed even from the world of Atzilut. Kol shekin, how much more so from the world of Bria. God is creating everything. He creates even the world of Atzilut. And these burning up angels, they grasp this somehow or other. They comprehend it. That's why they say God is holy, holy, holy. Why 3 times? Shut Keneged, this is corresponding to the 3 letters of Yud, and then Hey, and then Vav. Kol Chayutam, and all of their life is only from the level of Hey Acharona. Is from this level of the last Hey of God's name. That's what it means, Hashem Tzavaos, that God is the God of hosts. Ot Hiu B'Tzava Dilei, that God is just one letter in all of the hosts that He made. Tezeu Gamken Malay Kala Oretz Kavoda, that's what it means, that the whole world is filled with God's glory. Kadosh, 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 Hashem Tzavaos, Malo Kol Aretz Kavodo. That's what they say. Holy, holy, holy is God, the God of hosts. What does hosts mean? All the creations, all the animals, all the spheres, all the protozoas, all the spiritual levels, the angels. It's all just these are the hosts of God. That God creates by one letter. And they feel this, they comprehend it. That's why they say 3 times holy. The first 3 letters of God's name, Yud, He, and Vav. And afterward they say the whole world is filled with God's glory. What does it mean? Shaliyoto Kodesh Amudo, because God is so incredibly separate and incomprehensible to all of the worlds. Lagam Imkain, if so, Shamayim Va'oretz, the heavens and the earth, which means all the levels of spiritual and physical, they're all equal. Umisad Hasagazu, and because of this understanding, Hariyim Nisrafim, they burn up Hasagatam with their understanding. Shemitziutam Holeched Nisrafet, it goes up and it burns up. It's like, let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say a gemologist, he finds a very precious diamond worth $10 million. He looks at the $10 million, he just is amazed by it, the beauty of it. He understands what a diamond is. Right? I don't know how much diamonds are worth. How much is the most expensive diamond? This diamond is $500 million. Okay, $500 million, finds the perfect diamond. He's an expert. He's just looking. You don't see him utter a word. He's just totally amazed by the perfection of this, which is not the case as a simple person. A simple person, you said, you finds a diamond worth $500 million, he goes berserk. He jumps around and he's holding on to it and he's screaming and he's yelling and I'm so happy. He has absolutely no idea what it is. Right? Somebody told him this is not a piece of glass. It's a perfect diamond. If it wouldn't tell him, he wouldn't know. And even now he doesn't understand what it means. But they tell him it's worth $1 billion, and the guy who tells him is a big professor. He believes what this person says, so he's jumping and he's happy. And this is the angels, which are the seraphim. They have an intellectual appreciation of the greatness of God, that God is above all the spiritual. And the other angels, they have no appreciation. They don't know what God is. They just see that these seraphim angels are so excited, so they get excited 1,000,000 times more. They're really going berserk. Like the guy who finds a diamond doesn't know what it means. Because that's the but if so, they're so low. These angels are so low. Mikol ein ze doma lebitul tzol atzilut. The iu v'chayui v'gromo echad. The existence of the world of atzilut, pure godliness, their God is totally one. So no matter how high these angels of the world of Bria get, nevertheless they're distant, infinitely distant, even from the dimension above them, which is Atzilut. Masha Einkin is Seraphim, the Bria, which is not the case, these angels of Bria, that's what I just said, they're still in existence. But the Ophanim, but these lower angels, these lowest angels, She'en Masigim, that they don't understand anything. All they know is that they're angels, that they exist. They don't know how they exist, why they exist. Suddenly they sense these seraphim angels are burning up silently to the greatness of God. And they think, wow, there's really God. God is creating me. They're so tremendously excited. It's like the simple person who finds the diamond. Rakim Baraj Gadol, they're just in a big noise. Harihem Yotzim Legamri Miger Hagbalasa. They go totally out of their existence. They're totally berserk. The seraphim shebitalam hu mitzad hasagasam, but these upper angels that they understand, and gam b'shad bitulam, no matter how surrendered they are to God, nevertheless it all depends on their understanding. They're always a metziut. They're always a separate thing. Me'achashu misad hasaga, because it's intellectual. Masha Enki and Arash Ofani, which is not the case, this excitement and this noise of the lowest angels, Hari Bezeim Yotzim Miger Ragbalatam, they're going totally out of their limitations. So, okay, let's go back to our example. If you have the diamond. So it doesn't really make that much difference about getting excited about diamonds if you have big. But let's take another example. Music, right? Music. You have people that they appreciate music, and they sit in the first row and they just hear this beautiful music, and they're crying and they're swooning. Then you have the people, the janitor or whatever, and he doesn't understand anything, right? But he knows, you know who this is? This is the professor of music. I talked to him today. What a wonderful person. And he's sitting there just crying. So the janitor just goes berserk. Look at this man just standing there with a stick, and he's rubbing it against this thing. And everybody, right? So the person who's standing on the stage, he sees that the janitor is just like swooning over this music, right? So he's saying, oh, this is a person that's really excited about my music. Now, the other guy is sitting in the front row. He's analyzing it. He's waiting for me to make a mistake. He knows if I make a little bit of a mistake, I'm not going to be so. He's not going to be so excited anymore. But the janitor, it doesn't make any difference. He's just excited by me, that I'm standing there and I'm making this thing, and the big professors are going crazy. He's 20 times as crazy, right? This janitor, he's my man. He's the person, right? He's really devoted to me. He can be the head of my fan club, right? He's really excited. The janitor goes home and he buys pictures of this violinist and puts it all over his wall. You don't know what I heard tonight. He himself doesn't know. That's the thing of these simple angels. The simple angels, true, their excitement is not as, in a way, it's not as deep. It's more superficial, but it's total. It's total. They realize that their whole total existence does not grasp what the truth is. That if they rely on themselves for one instant, that they're wrong. Suddenly they feel their whole existence comes only from the Creator. They feel it, which is not the case with these Seraphim. They understand it. So because they understand this, they're burning up silently and they really appreciate God, but they're not excited. They haven't got the same excitement.
Interesting, you said the lower angels actually.
Right. Oh, so he says that's why the lower angels sense a higher level. It's the same thing. I told the story 50 times, but it's the same thing. You get a person who's a big rabbi and a big tzaddik and a big this, and they get an old Jewish lady that she doesn't know nothing, and her faith in God is greater than the big rabbi. The rabbi is jealous of her. Right? That if I only had the level of faith, she would give her life in a second. We've got no problem. Right? Or to help somebody else, or to do a good deed or something like that. Right? And the big rabbi, he knows God. He can give lectures, explain everything, and he's jealous of the simple lady because of her total surrender, because she doesn't understand anything. So he has to find, this big rabbi has to find somewhere inside of him that he also has to admit, listen, the fact is, I really don't understand anything either. The fact is, I understand all these great ideas. This is just a gift that God has given me. It's not really me. What is me? I don't know. It's just pure God. I don't know. It's the same thing. I know what the real me is, just like she knows what the real her is. And she's more in touch with it than I am. So that's what it says. The reality, the essence of these angels, these lower angels, right, comes in a way from a higher source than from these burning up angels. So what is the Rebbe encouraging us to do? To be simple like this? Yes, of course you have to be simple, but he's also saying you have to be like you have to use all of your abilities to serve God. The fact is, you were not created simple. You weren't created simple, right? You were created more intellectual. You have to use your mind, but you have to try to achieve this level of simplicity of this. It says the Baal Shem Tov said that he came in order to make the Talmidi Chachamim simple and make the simple people into Talmidi Chachamim. He would go around from village to village and teach people Aleph Beis. People didn't know Aleph Beis. They didn't have money to hire a teacher. They didn't know. They would say the prayers. Everybody was religious. They would say the prayers. They didn't know what they were saying. They could hold the siddur upside down. They wouldn't know it. The Baal Shem Tov came in order to teach people, to make people a bit able to. And there's a lot of stories about that. So there's a tremendous advantage to simplicity, which we see from these excited angels, the Ophanim. But on the other hand, we cannot underestimate, undervalue the importance of understanding. Chachma, Bina, V'das, Chabad, like the burning up angels are. In fact, because these angels are burning up, that's what gives the incentive and the motivation to the lower angels to get excited. right? They have this excitement because they sense that the seraphim, it wasn't for the seraphim, if it wasn't for these burning up angels, then the lower angels wouldn't even know anything about God whatsoever. They would just, whatever, do with their job, whatever it is. Angels have jobs to bring messages into the world, etc. As we will talk about, God willing, tomorrow.